So, get this up. Okay, you guys can see that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I know you're busy. Sounds like you're busy, so I appreciate everybody being here for the training.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. My name is Charlie Bradley, and I'm the moswin trainer for the state of Missouri. Just a little bit about my background. 6 years ago, I retired from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. I was a radio operator at Troop D, so I am familiar with you guys' department. I know we called on you a lot, and so always appreciated when you guys were on scene. So I do have some hands-on experience with moswin.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and get started. And if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and ask. You don't have to wait.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we're talking about the system itself. It's a digital trunking network. It shows there that it uses both VHF and 700 megahertz towers. All new tower sites are 700 megahertz. So what they did was, before moswin went online, they drove every quarter of a mile in the entire state. And then they would test the signal strength coming in and going out. That way they knew where there was going to be gaps, what to work on. I actually drove the techs around one day in southern Taney and southern Stone County. And yeah, we had to hit every quarter of a mile, whether in somebody's driveway or on a farm path, whatever it took to get that. So when moswin went online, they had 75 towers statewide. We now have more than 150, and we're adding more all the time. Right now, we've probably got 6 towers in various stages ready to go online this year. So next year they'll have more. So anytime they find a gap, they try and improve that. For you guys, and we'll talk about tower sites in a little bit, but you guys have excellent coverage, so you shouldn't have any problems.
Where does the funding come from for the towers?
I think it's just our budget through the state of Missouri. We budget for so many towers a year, and whether we actually erect a tower or use someone else's tower just depends. So, but yeah, it's state funding through our budget. So this is just kind of our mission statement. We'll go on. But I will talk about, and I know you guys are familiar with this, but after 9/11, the federal government said they needed to do something better than what was already there, because the fire departments couldn't talk to the police directly, couldn't talk to the ambulances directly, so it took some extra time, which was a disaster. The federal government decided that they would come up with a plan. And after a while, they realized they couldn't, so then they left it up to each state to come up with their own. And that's how moswin was developed. So what happens is, when you turn your radio on, it's looking for a tower site that it can affiliate with automatically. You don't have to do anything. It may not be the closest tower, and I'll show you again in just a few minutes where your tower sites are. So it could affiliate with any of those towers, but it's all set up so when you need your radio, it's ready to go. So again, you don't have to do anything. Now, if you guys have handheld or portable radios, if they're right by a tower, they can use the moswin system, but for the most part, they have to have an in-car repeater for them to work. So this is a breakdown of who currently uses the moswin system, you'd expect law enforcement and fire department to be 1 and 2. There's some others on there that I want to talk about as well. Places like county emergency management or county public health or hospitals, they have moswin radios, but for the most part they're turned off, especially the county emergency management, county public health. They're in somebody's office, turned off. Now they can turn them on, they can use them if there's some type of a emergency or some type of training. Hospitals the same way, except most hospitals now have moved the moswin radio into the ER. But again, most of the time it's turned off. But they do have that capability. So these are state agencies that use moswin full-time. And I want to start out by saying that you guys have moswin channels in common with all these. So if you need to, you can contact all these on moswin, or they can contact you. Obviously the Highway Patrol, Fire Marshal, I'm sure you've had to contact them, or you can now on moswin. Department of Natural Resources, that's another one you probably contact once in a while. Conservation, I know you contact MoDOT. So all those are the main ones. Some of these others, like the Department of Corrections, well, they have moswin radios in all of their prisons as well as all their transport vans. National Guard, that may be a time when you need to contact the National Guard. Homeland Security, obviously SEMA, Capitol Police, you may never contact them. But if you need to, you do have channels in common. But like I said, in general, you're probably not going to be talking with the Capitol Police. And these are federal agencies. Now, I'll talk about one, the exception here in just a second, but for the most part, they're not on moswin full-time. They have their own channels, but they do have moswin channels in their radios. And like with the state, you do have channels in common with them. So if need be, you can talk back and forth. You've got the ATF, the DEA, FBI, Treasury, Internal Revenue, U.S. Forest Service, Department of Homeland Security, and Civil Air Patrol. The one that's not on here, because we just added them, was U.S. Marshals. And they have 2 offices, one in Kansas City, one in St. Louis. But when they get outside of Kansas City or St. Louis, then they use moswin full-time. Now I want to talk just a little bit about the Civil Air Patrol. If you guys are called out on a downed aircraft, a lot of times the planes run out of fuel and there's no big fireballs, so they're hard to spot, especially in wooded areas, things like that. So if you're needing assistance in locating them, you can call Civil Air Patrol. They'll send out a plane that has FLIR, and it also has a receiver for the plane's transponder, so they can pick it up pretty quick and locate it. They also have cadet programs, and what these are, it's cadets that are trained in ground search. So if you have a missing child in a large area, or missing adult, and you're needing some assistance on locating them, then you can call Civil Air Patrol and they'll send out their cadets, and they have their own equipment. They're trained in grid search. So again, you may never use it. Just something kind of keep in the back of your mind that it is something that is available if needed. Okay, so there are There are two levels of users for the moswin system. The first is level 1. They use it for daily use. That's what you guys are going to be. They use all the channels available to them. They can use it on a daily basis. The second group, level 2, it includes like the ones that I talked about earlier, like county emergency management, where they do have a radio, they just don't have it turned on. But there are other agencies who have their own radio system for daily use, but they do have a moswin radio up and running beside that, that they can use to contact the highway patrol, other agencies. If need be, they can contact you on moswin. But again, their daily operation is not using moswin. So now we're going to talk about talk groups. So basically, this is a lot of technical stuff, but actually it's just a set of channels that are dedicated either to an agency, ones they share with other agencies,